You just ruined my fucking intro. That's staying in now because you just ruined it. Welcome everybody to another episode of the 5Marks podcast. I am your host, as always, Mr. Martin115, joined by my lovely dance partner, saying this probably for the 60-something time. It is Carmo.
That's me. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another week. Do you know what? I kind of want to start this on a little bit of a different note. Is it really the 5Marks anymore?
No. We've got...
This is probably the question that I get asked the most.
No, it's not the 5Marks anymore. It is
because we kind of went. We went from 5 to 3.
Yeah. Then to 4.
And then 3 to 2.
No, so it went from 5 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 7, and now there's 4.
There's 4 really, but there's 2.
Yeah, there's 4, and then there's background people.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the 2Marks podcast.
Yeah. You're always guaranteed to have me and Carmo here. We're the flag bearers on this thing.
Yeah, we're one argument away from there being no 5Marks podcast.
Exactly, and it's all going to be because of fucking Robbie Mack.
Look, save the whales. That's all I'd say.
Fuck off with that save the whales shit. Little Easter egg for you guys as well. If you ever watch anything we've ever done with Rob, go skip to the end. Everything we've ever done, it ends with save the whales.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. Whether it be an interview at a show, an interview on here, it always ends that way. So go back, check it out on our Instagram or our TikTok, and you'll see it all there. But that's a very true fact. There's such an up and down of the 5Marks.
Yeah, after probably maybe this time next year, after all the Hard Knox shows and stuff like that, and if we have them on again, just going to be a compilation of Rob saying "Save the whales."
Yeah. And by the way, I just to say to people, if you guys go on,
we're going to get a message off Rob here once he hears this.
No. I'm going to get a message off him.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a message off him, and it's always going to be followed by abuse. I guarantee you, he's listening right now, going, that fucking Martin lad. You know what? I'm going to fucking send him a message, and I'm going to call him a cunt, and I'm going to say that Carmo's better than him because I'm Robbie Mack, and that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually brought a message for me now and just called me a cunt, and that'll be that.
To be fair, I get called a cunt, and you get you get the kind of the physical abuse.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But just for people as well, we actually had this discussion a while ago, and I'll just say because you brought it up, of the 5Marks, and would we continue to be the 5Marks when there's literally just 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, or whatever. I think the name is so known now that we can't change it.
Do you know what? This is something that we've debated about ourselves. We've thought of changing it to just the Marks podcast, but I don't think it runs well.
No.
Whereas it still goes back to the original of the 5 of us. I think what we should actually do is set up a website where people can send in CVs if they want to join. Yeah. We can go through interview processes and stuff like that. Just live on air interview processes.
If you want to come join the 5Marks team, please send your CVs or just a 2-minute video of why we should not take your application to the 5Marks podcast at Instagram. Send those now. We will review them. Any funny ones we will put up on the TikTok to name and shame you.
You know what? If people do this and they're actually good enough, we'll definitely bring you on for an episode. If it goes well, you might fully be invited into the 5Marks family.
Maybe.
Somebody's going to do it.
If your name is Robbie Mack, you're instantly disqualified.
Yeah, you're barred. Well, that's a bit harsh. I don't want to get ahead from Robbie Mack, so he's...
That's too late now, you've said it.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
That's your message now. He's literally texting your one now as we speak to be like, you know what? Emmett's the best one. Fuck Martin, fuck Carmo, Emmett's the best Mark.
We're going to have to cancel this episode and just start again, really, aren't we?
But Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of the 5Marks podcast. We are slowly but surely heading out to the end of the year. Now, we're not like kind of starting this episode like we normally would, or kind of going into the episode we normally would. We're actually taking a bit of a step back today. We're very chillaxed today. You know, there's not much to talk about. We're in this kind of weird pause moment of wrestling shows. Like we just had RCW there, a week or two ago. We have Hard Knocks next week, which is exactly why we're here, but we'll get into that in a second. So we've decided I decided, Carmo had no say in this whatsoever.
Carmo's never saying anything, so it's okay.
I'll say something, Carmo's like, yeah, we'll do it, yeah, go on.
Sure, yeah, cool.
He lets me just run off, unless it's a rant about Tony Khan. He doesn't let me do that. But
no.
We're going to kind of do things like we used to, just kind of chillax, kind of shit talk back and forward, because there's some things I would like to chat about, one being the Debbie and Martina match that was re-announced to be happening at the Complex on December, I forgot the date, what's the date again? 16th. The main event as the ladder match that we've been looking forward to, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Hard Knocks and what they've got coming up next week. But before we get talking about that, Carmo, what's happening next week?
Next week, literally a week from today, if you're listening to this episode on the Saturday that it is released, November 28th, Dolan's Warehouse, Limerick City. Is it November 28th? No, it's November 26th. November 26th. I'm already out of a job. Here we go. November 26th, Dolan's Warehouse, Limerick City, Hard Knocks Unmatched comes to Dolan's Warehouse in Limerick City on November 26th. I've kind of said all this anyway. Tickets are €21. Get down. It's the Hard Knocks last show of the year, I believe. It's going to be an absolute banger. As we're going to talk about here in a few minutes, 4 things have kind of somewhat been announced, and that's, I think, all that we're going to get between now and show day. And there are a whopper of 4 things, to be fair.
Exactly. So, as Carmo said, get your tickets now. You had technically 2 shows back to back sell out. So get your tickets as soon as you can. Get down to Dolan's Warehouse. I've seen a lot of people who have kind of been humming and hawing about going to Hard Knocks who've got their tickets. They're going to come down to this show. So definitely get your ass down to Dolan's Warehouse for a great, great night of wrestling. And hey, stick around afterwards. You can watch us from afar as we do our interviews. So this way you can see the interviews before they go up on the Instagram and stuff like that. So lots of fun before and after.
I will repeat, if you do see us doing interviews, leave us alone until we're finished, and then we'll come over and chat to you.
Also, we're not a photography people. We don't take photos as in we don't step away so people can get their photos, a nice background of Dolan's. No, we're doing interviews. We actually, that's a true story. Had someone come over and be like, can I just use the camera for a photo real quick? I was just like, we've got CBL here. We're about to record.
This also isn't us being rude, by the way. This is us just trying to give you the best content possible.
Exactly, and I'm rude, so stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
we're bringing back the I bite thing.
Yeah. We're just gonna have Emmett standing there, and anyone that tries to come in here is just gonna chop him.
Oh no! Don't let lads out there now. They're working like Chase.
Yeah, do you know what? If you are there and you want to come over and talk to us, talk to Emmett. Emmett will talk the whole of it.
Oh Jesus, you won't want to talk to Emmett again. He will.
No, never.
He'll talk the ear off you. It'll be fucking brilliant. But as Carmo said, get down to Dolan's, get down to Hard Knocks, €21. It's going to be an absolute blast, and we'll get into the what we know of the card and our opinions on the show, and a few fan tag teams have been put together very, very soon in the episode. But one thing I want to kick off this show of, we're going to go back a bit. We used to talk about WWE and AEW and stuff, and we kind of dipped out of that. But I wanted to bring up one conversation today to kind of get a discussion going with for our listeners and ourselves and stuff like that. I watched today the Dragon Lee Cedric Alexander match from SmackDown, the rematch, and fucking hell, that was such a good match. At one point, I thought fucking Dragon Lee was dead. when he went fucking flying into the corner, and yeah, it was fucking it was like a proper old 205 live match, and I fucking loved it. And I put out on Twitter that Triple H, in my opinion, needs to bring back one more time, give it one more run, the Cruiserweight title. Because I feel like for people like Cedric, Dragon Lee, Nathan Fraser, who else is there? I don't know if Trick Williams kind of fits into that category. I don't actually know what his weight is. For
JD, even people like Wesley, Carmelo Hayes,
JD
there's kind of those kind of people.
Who's a former champion, you know, for them, it's something for them to work towards. Bring back the Cruiserweight title, keep it on SmackDown. It stays on SmackDown indefinitely. No 205 Live, and just let the guys work.
It's a fair point, and the reason I say that is because if you go back to probably 2017, 2018, little bits of 2019, you were getting classic matches like Buddy Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, even Akira Tozawa was in there for a lot of them. Arya Davari, do you know that kind of I think that's his name. Arya Davari?
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's his name. Yeah, you know, there was some classic matches. There's one from one of the Saudi shows in 2018, I think it was. I think it was Cedric and Mustafa Ali, and it is one of the greatest matches you will actually ever watch in probably modern time WWE. It's insane. So I agree with you there. My only question is, I know we listed off there, 7 or 8 names. Is there that much of a roster for it?
There is. So I properly had a look at this earlier on, before I put out the tweet and stuff like that. Like I got up and I'll do it again here. Like I got up the WWE roster, but like just some names I put in the tweet alone. Like if you go back to like 205 Live, and when the Cruiserweight division first started, there wasn't that many names, you know. But like we got Cedric, Wesley. I just realized that I put down Wesley twice. I went Lee and then Wes. Oh, Dragon Lee. That's who I meant. Jesus Christ. Nathan Fraser, Tyler Bate, J.D. McDonough, Drew Gulak, Regal's son, Charlie Dempsey, that's his name.
Charlie Dempsey.
You know, you have Noam Dar. Who else was in 205 Live that's still... Akira Tozawa. Angel Garza, who's a former champion. Chad Gable, who once was in the Cruiserweight division for like 2 weeks, and then they took him back out. You know,
you even have Tommaso Ciampa, you have
Gargano,
Johnny Gargano, you probably have Luke Kaiser.
You know, there's so many. There is a roster of people. Ricochet, that's where he will shine the most, is in a Cruiserweight division. Like, there is a roster there. Xavier Woods, I'm pretty sure, is under 205. So, would it oversaturate the SmackDown roster doing that? Yeah, it would, but like you can have like the Cruiserweights compete on both shows, like without like, you know, they can be on Raw, but the championship stays and gets defended on SmackDown. You know, that's how I would do it. And then within the debate, I had on Twitter, you can let's see what you think of this. Russell reached out and said, "Just give me the Cruiserweight Classic as a yearly event, and I'd be happy." But I had this idea. Why not bring back both? Bring back the Cruiserweight title, bring back the Cruiserweight Classic, but do it as a yearly event the way that they do the NXT breakout tournaments. So maybe guys we haven't seen in a while kind of come into the Cruiserweight Classic, whatever NXT people they want to put in there just to give, like, maybe they're not ready for the main roster, but they want to give them that taste, like we'll do a main event, give them that like taste of the main roster kind of vibe, see how they mesh with it. You know, put them in this tournament, and obviously the winner then gets a shot at the Cruiserweight title. Let's say, like, I don't want to put it on WrestleMania because it's for, like a SummerSlam or a Royal Rumble. You know, make it like a really big like thing for that show.
I like it. Yeah, I like the idea. I think Cruiserweight Classic, they did it so well the first time, and they introduced us to so many like new wrestlers that maybe not a lot of people would have known unless you were kind of following the American Indies or maybe ROH at the time as well. Whereas Even at that time as well, it brought in some of the Japanese guys. I think Kushida was in there.
Yeah.
I believe Kota Ibushi was in there.
Kotobushi was in
I
there.
believe they were all at the Cruiserweight Classics. So those kind of people as well gives you those opportunities to bring those kind of people in for this tournament, put on these absolute classic matches that you're not going to see anywhere else, and then kind of bring it all the way up to the final. Because you're going to bring in someone, whether it be a new guy that they have training that they're just not able to get into TV, whether it's, as you said, someone that they're bringing back to the company, whether it's from injury or whether they're just signing them again. It's a great way to bring them back in, do this big tournament, get loads of views, and get people watching again in a cruiserweight division, and then build up this one guy to go on again face whoever your cruiserweight champion is, whether it be Rey Mysterio or Santos Escobar or even Dominic Mysterio for that matter. Like, could you imagine watching a cruiserweight classic and then all of a sudden you just see Chavo Guerrero show up, or like a Billy Kidman, or a Tajiri, or one of those kind of guys, guys that we're used to watching from that old cruiserweight division.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do it exactly like the way they did the original Cruiser Classic. Like, I think Tajiri was actually in the Cruiserweight Classic, you know?
It was,
and
yeah.
then, like, it gave new faces. Like, Cedric Alexander probably wouldn't have got signed if not for that match with Kota Ibushi. Where, like, they had to please sign Cedric, you know? Giovanni Vinci came from the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many names that we see now, or did see, like Mustafa Ali, Lindsay Dorado, Graham Metalik, you know, who have been in the WWE and stuff like that, who are in that. I'd be all for it. Like, I was always a fan of the Cruiserweight division. It's a shame that once Vince got his hands on it again, he got rid of the title. So, I'd love to see it back. I think do a Cruiserweight Classic again to kind of find that next champion. They could do for the first one. They could do it exactly the way they did it with the. It was a cruiserweight like kind of champion tournament at that time when Enzo was released and they had to find new champs. So they had the tournament lead all the way to WrestleMania. Do that same thing again, and then just give me the finals of Dragon Lee versus Wesley, and I'd be happy.
Oh, unbelievable! But even as well, speaking on that, if they did do a Cruiserweight Classic, you could do it as a style of like Tough Enough nearly. So whereas you get people sending applications, where you might even have the fact of like these are names in spitball, and these guys should be in the like Cruiserweight Classic as it is, and this is kind of coming back to home. Fabio, Martin Steers, LJ Cleary, I know he's in Japan at the moment. Those kind of people as well that could really sink their teeth into a Cruiserweight Classic and get their name out even more.
Exactly. Like, as well, I would love for them to do, like, I'm not sure if they did it where the person was still under contract, but, like, with the first one, we saw Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi. Like, they didn't stay, but we got to see them. Imagine, like, a speedball Mike Bailey in there.
Yeah.
A Will Ospreay. Do you know? Like, there's so many names, and as you said, even if you gave a small chance to, you know, some sort of indie person, we'll say, imagine a Danny Cross getting one opportunity to go.
Yeah, Keith Noonan, those kind of people like that. Yeah.
So there's so many people that like you could just stick in there. There's so many people you could bring back fucking like Fandango or fucking Tyler Breeze for that type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so many people. So even like Fuego del Sol, give him one more opportunity after Tony bottled it. You know, so yeah, I wanted to bring that up to get kind of like the discussion going, or you know, within the people. Like if you guys, you know, want to add to this kind of like thing, theory type thing that we're building or something like that, you know, you can always reach out to us on our socials. But yeah, it was a discussion I wanted to start and get like people's opinions on like, would you like to see the Cruiserweight title back?
Yeah, I think there's room for, even if you don't make it a Cruiserweight title, I think there's a room for that kind of title. The only thing I can actually compare it to is the Rebel X title that we've seen now down in Cork. And this is something that Billy said. I can't remember if he said it on the actual podcast or whether he was talking to him after the podcast. But he said it like, he was kind of like, if you don't walk out of that match thinking that was the match of the night, there's something gone wrong. Because basically what you're doing is you're picking, if WWE do a singles match, triple threat, fatal 4-way, 5-way, 6-way, 10-way, it doesn't matter. If you're basically putting guys into the ring and you're going, have the best match you possibly can. And just let him at it.
Exactly.
Don't tell him anything. Don't do anything. Just go, Have the best match possible. And I think that's what, especially WWE, because I think AEW has that. I think if you watch AEW, even if you're just watching Dynamite or Rampage or Collision, even in just that week, you'll find a match that you kind of go, wow, that was incredible. And they have it at their pay-per-views as well. Because I feel like WWE are missing that a little bit.
Yeah.
They get it every now and again where you watch a match and go, wow, that was absolutely incredible. Whereas if you can sit down and you can go, even if it's a pay-per-view and just do your entire shows as build, if you go to a pay-per-view and you go, right, these two guys are going to go up again for the Cruiserweight title or any all title, whatever it is, and you're going to go, they're going to have the best match of the night. Everyone's going to go, yeah, cool, I'll watch that. No bother. Yeah, where's my popcorn?
Yeah.
It's true.
Sure, bringing, like, obviously they can't call it X Division. Like, I thought this as well, because, like, I don't know, like, the Cruiserweight division to me has always been like an X Division, but, like,
it's the same thing.
I always hated that, like kind of like someone like Samoa Joe or someone can't go for it and have the matches they can have like, call it the fucking low limits title. I didn't pull that from anywhere specifically, not, you know.
But even if you wanted, you can call it the light heavyweight. They used to have a light heavyweight championship.
Yeah, that's
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Like, you have to be a light heavyweight to go for it.
No, not for the light heavyweight. I don't believe anyway for the light heavyweight. I think anyone could go for it.
Okay, I just because I didn't want to put that type of like thing on it, because I wanted to be like, okay, it's like the never openweight title. It's open weight. Anyone go for it. Like, we can get a Great Khali versus fucking Hornswoggle match for it. You know.
Yeah. Even two names that we didn't mention there that would even fit into the cruiserweight if you were to bring that back: Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah. 100%.
And the type of matches that we've seen them put on in WWE, I would kind of say they have, but like if you go back and watch their ROH matches, even against each other, my God, some of the stuff either both of these guys can do is insane.
Exactly. So let us know what you guys think. If you like the idea, if you hate the idea, you know, reach out on our socials and ask us that type of stuff. But again, before we move on to Hard Knocks, there's a massive thing that I want to talk about. I know when I say it now, there's gonna be that one listener that's like, "Oh, we spoke about this on 2 different episodes, but it's happening this time, and it's officially where it was supposed to be on the December 16th."
Yeah,
December 16th show. That's what I call Christmas. OTT. It is confirmed. Debbie Keitel, Session Mont Martina, ladder match, main event. For the first time ever on a main OTT show. Because I know at Contenders it was Raven Creed and, God, what's her name again? She's in Impact World Champion. Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
They main evented the Contenders. But this is a main show card. It will be a women's main event.
First time ever a women's ladder match as well.
Double whammy. Deserved is like an understatement for these two and what they've built. I have a long ass rant to go through with this, so I'm gonna pass this over to Carmo before I go on my long ass rant.
I've only kind of two points to make on this. One, it's sad that they didn't get it at the stadium. Even because it should have been main event at the stadium. I get the whole Moxley thing. Moxley in OTT, he should have been here 4 years ago, I believe it was. He did 3 years ago, sorry. Couldn't come. Supposed to be here in March, couldn't come, and now he's finally here. Be cool. Makes sense as a main event. Everything about it. But you've got, since I've probably been watching OTT, you've probably got one of the best storylines that they've done between Martina and Debbie. It should have been main event at the stadium show. Now, to look back at it now, it makes no difference because unfortunately Martina did get injured. The match wasn't going to happen anyway. But it should have been billed as the main event of the stadium show.
Yeah.
The fact that it's happening in December, I think is fantastic. The fact that they get to main event their show is even better. And the fact that it's still a ladder match, still for the titles, and the story still continues is absolutely fantastic. I will throw out that question. Should they have kept it to the Scrapper and played as the main event of Scrapper?
They could have. realistically, they could have, but I do feel like it needs to end. 100%.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
100% with the story they have, they definitely could have gone a lot further. Like there is definitely ways they could have gone around to push it out a bit further, but I feel like I feel like someone else needs to step up now.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I really do agree. And I think there's even a possibility. We haven't really seen a big name female wrestler in OTT, we'll say from outside of Ireland.
Yeah.
Not even outside of Ireland, outside the UK. We'll say like a WWE name or an AEW name or an Impact name in a while. So there's a chance that there could be something planned for Scrapper, where they're bringing in someone like that to put him up against either Debbie or Martina, whoever wins the title on December 16th. But that's kind of my 2 points. I'm absolutely delighted this match is happening, and I'm delighted that it's main event. But I think bar the stadium show that just happened with John Moxley, and again, you're putting John Moxley.
Yeah.
It's the main event of any show that you ever do, I think.
Like, I've said this, and here's the people going, like, yeah, how long is he talking for? Just skip forward, because he's talking about it so much.
I'll cut him off after about 3 minutes.
Please do. They've done so well with this story. This is a story that's been going since Road to Scrapper in Belfast, I believe. Where Debbie said that like she was the best ever, and then Session Mock came out, was like, "Who the fuck are you? You haven't beat me." I definitely think this has been one of the best stories so far. As I said, the one thing I love, like, yeah, I love the casual stuff. I love when like matches just happen. Okay, I'm not gonna like disagree with that. But my main love of wrestling is promos and storytelling. It's my favorite two things in wrestling, and the way that they've done this rivalry has been so perfect. It's starting off with it's face on face. Who is the best? We got Session Moth on top, which I think everyone was expecting except for me. I honestly thought Debbie was going to take it. She takes it, the heel turn happens. Then you bring in Anita Vaughn, and the gals start, I think it was the very next show, Road to the Top. So you now have Anita Vaughn involved. Then we go into contenders, and we have the first glimpse and debut of Corey Zero, which they get a failed attempt. Corey gets kicked out of the gals. By the way, all this time, Session Moth was taken out at the last show by the two of them. They then come out on the very next show, call out Martina to the fact that she's not there, and have the match with Corey Zero. So now Corey Zero is involved in this story. There's another seed. Already have Anita Vaughn planted the seed. Now you have Corey Zero. They have their thing. As well, Lizzie Evo is involved at this point as well, because she turned heel on Martina during their match and joined the gals. So then Corey Zero comes involved. She's now involved with the story because Demi interfered in her match. So again, December, where's Corey Zero? Is she gonna come out? Is she gonna be the equalizer to Session with Martina? Now that you have Corey Zero, but then at WrestleRama, you had, what was your one's name again?
Emerson Jane.
Emerson Jane comes out, and she's a member of the gals. But you also had a slight glimpse at a crack in the gals with Debbie telling Anita to take the night off. And you can kind of see what Anita was kind of like, why? Like, am I not good enough or something like that? But it seems like the gals, as of right now, are a fully together unit, but like that crack is still there that could, slowly but surely burst. But the main thing that I have said for so long, that it'll probably go nowhere. It will probably go absolutely nowhere, and this person's not involved in the story, is you go back to the beginning of the story. It all started in Raven Creed versus Debbie Keitel, which I believe went to no contest. Which Raven Creed then went crazy, attacking Keitel. I could be completely wrong, and this happened mid-match. But Raven, as far as I remember, is still owed a championship match. So where's Raven Creed? So you have, where's Raven? Where's Corey? Where's Lizzie? Where's Emerson Jade? And Anita Vaughn. 5 different seeds planted in that one rivalry that helped prolong the rivalry to make it special. Again, as well, at fucking 9th year, Martina comes out. Bam! There's Anita Vaughn. So you know Anita's gonna be there at this is what I call Christmas. I think that's what it's called. That's what I call Christmas. So who's Martina gonna have? Is she gonna have Corey Zero there? Is Raven Creed Mike gonna show up? Do you know? I love this rivalry, and I said months ago it deserves a main event spot. I even asked Foxy, has a women's match main evented a main card? He said no. I said this deserves it. I know it's a shitter that they didn't get it in the stadium. Anita didn't get her big moment, her first stadium appearance. But it's a blessing in disguise with they got the main event. Might not be in the stadium, but your first ever women's ladder match, first ever women's main event, that's 2 positives there for that 1 negative of should have been in the stadium.
I agree, 100%. I agree. Yeah. I like the way you put it as well with all the 5 seeds that are involved in the story. I still think there is that question whether Anita's taking her chance. Like, you know, if Debbie wins the match, who's to say that Anita just doesn't attack her from behind and challenge her for the next show? So that kind of way. You did say as well, like, who's going to be there with, like, Martina, if Martina is going to have a be anyway. You have those 5 people. You also have people like Myla Grace, Millie McKenzie, those kind of people that are also on Martina's side that we've seen in OTT and outside OTT. So I think, for a match like this, and I hate to use Mox and Be Cool as the example just because it was the anniversary show and stuff like that. There was always only be one outcome. And if the other outcome happened, it's a big surprise. With this, yeah, you can only have a winner and a loser. But you have so much that could happen after the match, during the match, that could lead off the match. You know, that kind of way? That, like, if Debbie wins, who's she going to fight next? If Martina wins, who's she going to fight next? You know, that kind of way? There's so much, like, build around it that could, not only going into the match and what we've seen from the last year, but also coming out of it as well, and what we could see for the next year. There's so much going on in just a one match that it's crazy, to be honest. It is crazy. And it's a great storytelling. A fantastic storytelling, I think.
I completely agree. Like, I think they have knocked it out of the park. And as well, a main thing before we get to the complex, before we get to the Christmas show, in Ennis Killen, it's Martina versus Anita Vaughn. Maybe she deals with Anita Vaughn there.
And we've seen that match as well happen as well in, I think it was a showdown in Finglas. Or it was a showdown in Tala.
I wasn't there. I couldn't be at that show.
I couldn't either, but yeah, we did see that match as well, and I think Martina got the victory on her. She just about scraped through it as well, so you wouldn't know what kind of pressure that match has on Martina and how much of the injury she still has as well, and how much Anita's going to focus on that injury.
Exactly. So, like, the Enniskillen show will be very interesting in how we get to the December Christmas show. As I said, I am so invested into this. My biggest worry is, where do we go after this? You know, like, this has been such a hot rivalry, and I honestly got to feel like that the last amazing feud before this was Emerson Jade and Debbie. So I'm like, I hope that we can somehow capitalize on how invested everyone is to that women's championship. Like, I'd love to see Raven Creed step up, or Anita Vaughn, or Corey Zero. I'd love for more. I'd love for there to be more, like, Irish women's wrestlers kind of stepping up to that like level now. Like slowly but surely getting there. You know, we don't really see many people other than Anita, Debbie, Martina, uh, uh, God, Raven Creed. You know,
Wild Grace.
Violet Grace. There's another person who could potentially like be next, like show up and be next in line. You know, so I'd love to see more people step up and not like obviously give Anita her time to shine. As I said, maybe bring Raven back in, but I'd love to see someone else like a Violet Grace as well. Just someone new come in and step up and try and make a name for themselves. So I'm so excited to see where we go at the show itself. I'm hoping to God the Ennis Killen show is going to be televised, not televised, like recorded and put up, so that this way I can like check out the match before we get to the December match. So they deserve it, they earned it, and I cannot wait to see what happens when Martina and Debbie have a ladder match. I'm gonna make sure I'm definitely in this. Try and make sure I'm in the second row. Because like you're gonna want to get as close as you can to this match to see the chaos that's gonna happen on December 16th.
100%. And I know we plug Hard Knox quite a bit here, and we do plug RCW quite a bit as well. You don't want to miss that. That's history in Irish wrestling. Yeah. You don't want to miss it. Buy your ticket. Show up, please.
And as well, if you're like, I don't know what the complex is like. Complex is actually amazing. It is my favorite outside of the stadium. The stadium obviously is the top. Complex is my favorite place because it is the most wrestling look-alike arena that we have, in my opinion. Like, yeah, the Red Cow is great, is like really, really good, but like I feel like the Complex just it suits a wrestling show.
It does, yeah, it does.
And if that doesn't sell that for you, well, Carmo, we've got not one, not two, but 3 special appearances on that OTT show as well.
Do indeed.
One of them would gladly walk out and call Carmo SAWFT Swift.
Enzo. I was going to say something, and I can't remember what it was. I was going to be like, Amore. And he's 7 foot tall, but I'm not. I'm like 5'8". So
But Enzo Amore will be there, or Enzo, whichever name I'll go by. And then as well, the return of Zachary Wentz. Isn't that right? Zachary Wentz.
Zachary Wentz, yeah.
Okay, I thought I was going to butcher the second name. Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, former Impact Tag Team Champions, the Rascals, are returning to OTT as well. So get down to the Complex, have yourself a good time, and yeah, it's going to be a sight to see with that ladder match.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Really can't wait for it.
Who are you looking forward to meeting the most, the Rascals or Enzo?
The Rascals. I don't know. Who am I looking forward to seeing in the ring? The Rascals. Meeting, I'm kind of 50-50. They're both pretty cool, like.
But look forward to it. That'll be great. And if that's not your thing, you don't want to see that, just another women's match that you go check out as well. RCW, December 9th?
Sure.
You don't remember, do you? I don't remember.
No.
RCW, yeah, it's your scumbag and maggot, isn't it?
Scumbag and maggot.
We're so bad. Scumbag you maggot, December 8th. Got it. December 8th. Session Mont Martina, Raven Creed, going at it. Make sure to check that match out. It looks like we're getting a bit of a different side of Raven Creed. It looks like that big, nasty C word. I don't know if I can say that without getting the podcast in trouble, so I'm going to pause there.
It's been on an episode. It happened on an episode before, but we're not going to do it again.
Just in case. Like you guys know who we're talking about. Chris Conley seemed to have snapped something into Raven Creed, and she is out. She's got her 7 deadly sins. She's up to 7 people. Will she find her way back to Ring O'Connor? We'll have to see. But it is going to be a war in the PAV. So get your tickets as well. Come check out Eric Young. But this is Carmo's favorite time now. We're going to talk about our favorite promotion. We love all your promotions, but like this is our local one. We have to. We want to support them. It's our home. Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling Unmatched. November 26th is going to be very, very interesting. Hard Knocks doing something completely different. Allies becoming enemies. It's a tag tournament, is it? Or just tag matches?
From what I understand, it's a lot of tag matches. I don't believe it's an actual tag tournament.
Okay.
But judging by what we've seen from the poster, which we're going to talk about here in a second as well, there is quite a few singles matches going to be happening.
Exactly. So, Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling Unmatched, Friends Become Foes, is going to be very, very interesting. We are changing things up. If you guys go check out as well the interview we just posted the other day with Hard Knocks director Leonard Sheehan, he talks about it very much. You know, you could see anyone end up with anyone. The Sepramanos could be on opposite sides. You could have BDE on opposite sides. The draw, so many things could happen and realistically will happen. So we know nothing going into this match, this show. We won't know anything. We won't know any matches. We won't know any of the card. Who's on it? Nothing. I think the teams are going to be revealed in the coming days. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure I saw that one of the tweets. We'll know the teams. We just won't know who's fighting who. It's very intriguing.
Extremely. I think it's one of those shows that like if you think about it from a wrestling point of view, if you would take from WWE, now I know WWE kind of used to do this with like Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday and stuff like that. If you were to take, what's a good example? Let's say WWE were to do SummerSlam, right? And they were to go, right, we're going to do this idea where we're not going to announce any matches and we want 50,000 people to show up for our show. Most people would be like, really? I'm not going to show up for your show if you're not going to tell me who's there. Like, but I think for Hard Knocks, it's different. I know Hard Knocks hits different. That's in their logo. But I think it's different. There's something about, like, Hard Knocks has been banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, quote James. And I think you just have that faith in Hard Knocks that they're going to put it out of the bag again, even if we don't know what's happening. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
I think it brings that element of excitement to it as well.
100%. Like, it's almost like the unknown. Like, I agree with you. I don't think anyone else could have pulled this out because, like, yeah, the tagline's Hard Knocks hits different. But, like, I think the quality of every other show puts your trust in them. That they pulled out, like, every banger after banger show that, like, you don't need to know the card. And you know, I actually thought of this earlier on. I wanted to bring up the episode, but I couldn't remember what I thought of. Do you know what's something I'd love Hard Knocks or RCW or someone like that to actually do a Cyber Sunday, Taboo Tuesday type thing. Do you know, I got the idea by looking at the actual graphics for Unmatched. I thought, like, oh God, that's very Cyber Sunday. I'd love for them to do something like that. But you know, you kind of get a small taste of it here because in your head you're fantasy booking, like, which is what we're going to be doing here now in a few moments, is fantasy booking. You know, we know 4 matches with no opponents. We know who we regularly see on Hard Knocks that could be in a tag team together. Do you know? We have a few fan people as well, but like, it is very intriguing. It's something only Hard Knocks could really pull off because I feel like they have that the respect there that people know it's gonna be a good show. So Hard Knocks Unmatched, you have to get down. But let's talk about what the actual thing is. Friends becoming enemies. Obviously, we know as we've said many times that you could see tag teams split up. Like, Carmo, let's go with you first. Who are some people that you'd like to see put together, or a tag team you'd like to see go against each other?
You know what? There's it was something that I was literally thinking about there as you were kind of talking. And I think it would be kind of funny in a way. So I like the idea of friends becoming enemies, but I also like the idea of it kind of being split up around the place. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
So I think something like Galacini and the Sem as a tag team.
No.
That'd be amazing.
No, it wouldn't.
It'd be so good if you did Bitters or the Big Bad Dirty Nicky and Axel Jarrett.
Yeah.
That'd be quite good. You know what I mean? If you did like Bittersweet Josh and like Renzo Rose, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way. You could do Key Noonan and Martin Steers.
Ooh.
You know, that kind of way. There's so many different kind of outcomes that you could take. That's quite interesting. Like even you could take Fabio on CBL.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating. There's so much that you can do. It's incredible. It's crazy. Like it's crazy.
What I'm very intrigued in is the enemies part, because imagine two people who are currently not exactly on the same page having to team up. Someone like CBL and Raven Creed. We saw what CBL did at Hard Luck. He targeted Raven Creed, took Raven Creed out of the match. Imagine them two having to team up. Imagine it can happen because he's on one of the. But imagine if Steve didn't have an open challenge. Imagine with Steve Savage and Danny Cross.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. It's that element of can they coexist? I know it's so cliche in wrestling, but don't fix what's not broken. Everyone loves that. You know, who's another one of rivalries that we've seen that could like possibly be tag teams? God, I'm trying to think what we've had on Hard Knocks.
Francis Mercer and Foxy as a tag team.
Exactly. Do you know, there's two people we've seen clash in heads that, you know, imagine Chris Connolly teaming up with Robbie Mack. Two people again. Yeah.
And beating up Robbie Mack during the match. I mean, tag him with Robbie Mack during the match.
Imagine Braden O'Connor having to team up with Robbie Mack. Again, butting heads, you know? It's a very, very intriguing thing to see what happens. Like, I'll name out a few fan ones that we got as well. One person said they'd love to see Semzo in Hard Knocks. Sammy D and Galacini.
I love it. That was definitely said by Galacini.
It wasn't. It actually wasn't. One person said, "Go fuck yourself," but I told him that Robbie Mack and Francis Mercer weren't actually available that day.
That's fair. Thanks for your message, Robbie.
So it's because I called it. I said whatever team he ends up on is a jobber team. Galacini and Danny Cross.
Ooh.
What's it you guys at Galacini? The Sem and Sammy D.
That'd be interesting.
Sammy D.
You keep going. Go on. Who's next?
You disgusting man.
I didn't say anything.
But that's all the ones I got on Instagram. But then who else have we seen in Hard Knocks that we could put together? Imagine Nadia Sapphire coming back, and it's like a Nadia Sapphire and Axel. We saw imagine if. I think you said earlier on. Imagine any member of BDE having to have a team with a member of the Step Hermanos who just put a pie in their face.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
It is such a cool concept. And then this is where we get to have some fun now. Is 4 matches is all we know, because we were told. Well, it was put up on Hard Knocks social media, if you don't follow Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling, that Sammy D will defend his Hard Knocks World title. The Social Elite will defend the Hard Knocks Tag Team titles. Big Boots Murphy will defend the Hard Knocks All Ireland Championship. And Steve Savage has a hardcore open challenge.
Out of all of those, I would stay away from the Steve Savage hardcore challenge.
Yeah. Unless you're Danny Cross.
That's the one I don't want to pick.
Let's run it back. Send out Danny Cross.
I would imagine Danny Cross is going to stand far, far away from Steve Savage.
What is it? What as I said before? When gonna Joe, if you're gonna have send anybody out to get the job done, send out Danny Cross. Danny Cross. Danny Cross.
Yeah.
Danny Cross.
Yeah, I agree.
But
look, we'll start with Boots. Boots obviously won the All Ireland Championship at the last show.
Yes.
Who do you see possibly stepping up to take on Boots?
So, I would, honest to God, love Big Boots Murphy versus Raven Creed.
Ooh, banger.
I would love that to be his first defense.
That's a banger. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That'd be a serious match.
Who you got?
You know what? I give two names. One, this is actually going off the poster. One is Scotty Davis.
Ooh.
Because I know he's on the poster. Now, I don't know if he's going to be at the show or not, but that's a solid one.
I mean, I haven't seen in Hard Knocks in a while.
Yeah, in a while. And the other one would be CBL.
Yeah. I think as well, like, you know, if we're going to go based off of, I'm going to go based off the last show, because you mentioned CBL there. A man who we know is the underdog of Hard Knocks, the dark horse of Hard Knocks, Cian Noonan.
I have one for Cian Noonan for a few minutes, but I'm going to save it for the moment.
You know, we had Noonan, we had Boots come, like the very first time we spoke to him backstage. He said he wants the rise of the new era of Irish wrestling. I spoke to him at the last show. He said, I'm all for it. Cian Noonan, step up. Sam, step up. Bittersweet Josh, step up. You know, could we see someone actually step up?
Well, look, I did the interview with Danny Cross as well after the last show. Sammy D is wearing gold in Hard Knocks. Who knows? Maybe Danny Cross might want a bit of gold as well.
Silver.
Yeah, silver. But he wants a strap around his waist.
Another match that's very, very intriguing, because it's intriguing because of the night that we have. The Social Elite defending their tag team titles.
I'm going to throw this out there. Will it be the Social Elite defending their tag team titles? Who should say that it might not be Social Elite versus Social Elite?
What, so Matthew versus Sean?
Well, Matthew and someone against Sean and someone.
But how do you decide, like, who's the rest of Social Elite?
That's where it becomes interesting.
All right. I'm intrigued.
But again, you could also do the Social Elite, but it could be against anybody. It could be against, as we talked about there a while ago, it could be against Fabio and the Sim.
Yeah,
we don't know.
This is where I think this is gonna go. I think that somehow it's gonna be a tournament type based thing, maybe like 4 teams and 2 teams go at it, and then the Social Elite match. You know, you have the Social Elite versus, like, as you said, Gallicini and Big Bad Dirty Nicky. You know, but imagine, like, if you're on the other team, imagine like you're like someone like Gallicini and Nicky, and you somehow pull it off and you become the tag team champions. What does that say then for Axel and, like, Bittersweet Josh? Imagine something like that happens where, like, you're another tag team, but you have, like, you somehow are successful with this man that you've never teamed with before, and you take the gold. What do you do with your other partner? Do you know?
See, this is where I think it might be very possibly one of the separate manuals. Because what does it say about the other one? So if Axel goes and wins it with Bittersweet Josh, for example, just to pick a name. If Axel goes and wins the tag team championships with Bittersweet Josh, what does that say about Gallatini? Yeah. And likewise, if Gallatini goes and wins it with Martin Steers, what does that say about Axel Jarrett?
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
there's that.
It's so interesting.
There's that factor of, like, if they're not successful with their partner, but somehow they're successful with this other person, like, what do? You know, like, because obviously we know that, like, the Freshness, BDE, the Step Hermanos, you know, like other tag teams we see, you know, the Kings of the North, you know, they're successful tag teams. But imagine, like, now you've got to say, here, look, we're done because I have this with him.
Yeah,
it's intriguing. Yeah. So, if I could get one prediction of Social Elite versus who
It's a tough one. I think it's going to be like. I think it's going to be against two people who aren't necessarily in a team.
Mm.
So I think that's where it makes it tricky. Let's go. Who do we go for? Who would be funny? I think because of the history between the two teams, I'd go Big Bad Dirty Nicky and Galatini.
Ooh.
Just
Not a
because of the
bad
history
one.
between the two teams.
I think if we were to have some sort of upset win with a tag team that the socially would very much look down upon, a Sam Francis Mercer mix.
Ooh, that's interesting as well.
You know, one guy goofy, one guy serious, get the job done. Socially looked down upon, like, you know, down on them. They're like, these guys are nothing, and upset win.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, I think it's interesting. Now, I will say this as well. I'm just going to throw this out there, and I've done this for most other shows. It could possibly be that they're going straight up against an actual tag team.
Oh yeah, could
right?
be.
What if the grizzled young veterans are lying around?
Don't do this
That's
to
all
me.
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Don't do
That's
this.
all I'm saying.
That would be
I've done
huge.
this for every single show. I've
Yeah,
thrown out a name that has never showed
yeah.
up. I've never been right. But what if the grizzled young veterans are lying around?
Oh my God, it's CM Punk all on his own.
Imagine. Imagine.
That'd be
This is
fun.
why you got to get down to Hard Knocks. This is why.
Exactly. Another reason you gotta get down to Hard Knocks is because this man is fucking crazy. Steve Savage Hardcore Open Challenge. What's your
I've two
thoughts?
names for this. I've two names for this. One of them I've already mentioned for Booth, which was CBL, because I think it's a different CBL that we get in Hard Knocks. So I think it's a CBL that's angry as well. He hasn't been having his way in Hard Knocks in the last couple of weeks. Like last couple of months, I should say. Like he's lost out in title opportunities, that kind of that sort of stuff. So there could be an angry CBL who's like, I'm here to prove myself. I'm here for a fight, and who better than Steve Savage in a hardcore match?
Yeah.
And the other one, we were supposed to get it at the last show, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. Con Kelly.
I was going to say that we like Con Kelly, and we know he's got the fire in him. We saw how hungry he was for the match the first time around, and he didn't get it due to injury, due to other stuff involved as well. This time it's hardcore, so it could be an absolutely brutal match. One name I'm also gonna throw into the hat. Where's Justy at?
Ooh.
Where's Justy? We saw that they wanted one more match. Again,
I never thought of that.
there's people that look at Steve as like he's the step, like he is Mr. Hard Knocks. He is Hard Knocks. If I want to prove that I run this place, you go through Steve Savage. Again, Danny Cross came up short in that first what's the hardcore match? The unsanctioned match. He could be looking for a revenge to make up for that loss. It's very, very, very interesting to who's gonna step up.
One other name I'm going to throw out there, and this person has been in their fair share of hardcore matches, I do believe. I don't know if they'd want to bring it to Steve Savage in Limerick, but Session Martina.
Yeah. That's a
That'll
shout.
be an interesting match.
That's a huge shout. So get down to Hard Knocks UnMatched for Steve Savage versus John Moxley in a hardcore match.
Yeah.
It's
Get down to Dolan's to watch Steve Savage beat somebody up.
As we said many, many times here, Steve is a different cat in Limerick, in Dolan's, in Hard Knocks. It is a sight to see. That man is hungrier. He's more passionate. It is impressive to watch. So get down and check that out. And then we have what could be our main event, which I guarantee is our main event. Sammy D is defending the Hard Knocks World Heavyweight Championship. I have 3 names that I'll throw into the hat for this.
I've only got one. One only.
We'll go to your one in a second, alright?
Good.
So, 3 names. Renzo Rose, who was champion for 2 minutes?
30 seconds, probably 2 minutes, yeah.
So could have Renzo Rose going for it. I was going to say Session Moth Martina because of the run-in we've had before with her and Sam and Danny.
Good, yeah.
You already mentioned him. We haven't seen him since, I believe, Unmatched, either Unbroken or Unrivaled. What if Scotty got the chance?
Ooh. He was in that golden ticket tournament as well.
Exactly. And he
lost out in that opportunity to LJ.
Exactly. LJ's gone. Much like Raven Creed, Then I lost it to someone that realistically shouldn't have been there. So
yeah,
maybe Scotty says, screw waiting the back of the line again, I'm stepping up.
Yeah. That's a good shout. I like all 3 of those, to be honest. All 3 of those are very, very good shouts.
So who's your one?
My one is someone who I think has been proving themselves, especially in Hard Knocks, even ever since, I don't believe they were on the first show, so it's the second show.
They were supposed to be in the first show.
And I think it'll be a great opportunity for them to really test themselves against probably what probably a lot of people would say be the best wrestler in the country. He's a world champ. It's to be said it. Keen Noonan.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. He is, as I said, the underdog. He is the dark horse. He's put on banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. Just to name a few, the triple threat match with Scotty Davis and Martin Steers, the Golden Ticket Tournament. Huge banger. Joey Scott. Oh my God, what a match that was. And just the last one alone, CBL and Kane Noonan. Those guys didn't have a chance to prepare for that match. They found out about that match that day. So imagine, and that was his first Hard Knocks win. Imagine what he could do if he could prepare massively for a world title shot.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. I think if you look at Keen Noonan's matches in Hard Knocks, I think every one of them has stolen the show. I think if you were to really look at it, I think all of them are probably the best matches to happen on each show. So I think why not give him the opportunity? Why not take the chance?
Exactly. I'm all for that. I am all for that. I feel like he has definitely earned it in Hard Knocks. He has, delivered the most in my opinion. So yeah, 100%. I'm all up for getting him a shot. And if not the Hard Knocks World title, the All Ireland title. I'm 100% for that. So Carmo, one more time, what's happening on November 26th again?
November 26th, down in Dolan's Warehouse in Limerick City. Hard Knocks UnMatched comes to you. Tickets are €21. It is literally unmatched. We have no idea what's going to happen. Outside of those 4 people having those 4 matches that we don't even know who they're against. It could be anybody and everybody. It could be their own tag team partners, their own friends, or their most bitter enemies. People that we may not have seen in Hard Knocks before. Who knows? But the only way of finding out is being down in Dolan's Warehouse November 26th for Hard Knocks UnMatched.
I'll have a post this time to do it, so yeah. But it is going to be huge. It is going to be, I don't want to use the word stellar, but you have to get down to, we've said every show. We've said it already. Hard Knocks delivers every single show. Hard Knocks hits different every single show. So, just come down, give him a shot, check him out, hang out afterwards. And yeah, we literally cannot sell this show anymore.
Yeah, you won't regret it. Last show of the year. Make it a big one.
So that's all I have to bring to the table today. I literally have no other topics or nothing. This is probably we're an hour and 5 minutes in, and this has flown by. I feel like we
it's gone pretty quick. If you told me this was a half an hour, I'd have been like, yeah, that sounds about right.
It feels like we just started not long ago. But
Joan, I will say we do have some cool content coming up for people between now and Christmas.
Yes.
And we can pretty much say it now. We do plan on taking maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks off around that Christmas time into the new year. So don't be too upset if you don't see us around that time. But we do have plenty of episodes coming between now and then, and some banging ones too. You can trust me on that.
I would announce what they are because they are 100%. Well, they're 50% confirmed.
We're not going to announce them.
We're not going to announce them because last time we did that, like, it didn't happen.
None of it happened. It all fell by the way.
So, like,
like when someone announced an interview with Chris Jericho and then it didn't happen.
Imagine being that person that had a Jericho interview and it just fell through.
Yeah, that's 2 messages I'm getting this week anyway.
Oh no! I swear to you guys, now we said we'd never talk about that again.
Here, do you know about Hard Knox UnMatched? It's actually going to be me and Martin against Robbie Mack and Emmett in a tag team match.
It's going to be surrounded by a steel cage as well. No more contendership. Just like Carmo said in that. Oh, I put that on my personal one. So never mind. I was going to say, just like Carmo said in that interview, I was like, no, that's not my personal one. But yeah, as Carmo said, like, we have a load of content coming out for you guys. We will be taking the last 2 weeks of the year off, like obviously the week of Christmas Eve and the week after and probably New Year's week. So we do have plenty of content. We very soon look out on the social medias, and I'll put up on the OTT Facebook forum. We will be doing a fan Q&A to end off the year. So if you have 10 questions, 15 questions, 20 questions that you want to ask us to do with everything we've done the last year, just like wrestling questions or anything like that you want to ask, be ready, because we do plan on doing a fan Q&A to end off the year. So as well,
as Lauren said, we will throw it up on the socials and stuff like that. But if you are listening to this episode and you are thinking of a question, feel free to send it to any of us and we'll jot it down and we'll keep it for the day.
Exactly. So other than that, follow our social medias, 5Marks Pod on X, 5Marks Podcast everywhere else. Check out the merch as well. Buy some of the merch, please God. We will have that with us at Hard Knox, RCW. If you see us at the show, we have the merch somewhere in the car, wherever we parked, and we will go get it for you guys. So please do check that out. Is there anything else I'm forgetting to plug? I don't think so. I think that's
YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
One funny thing I'm putting together, hopefully I can get permission for this to kind of go out. I'm going to do a whole blooper reel of stupid takes from, whether it be interviews, just sitting here fucking chatting, and anything stupid or just wasn't supposed to happen. I'm making a funny little end of year thing for you guys, so look forward to that on the socials. Look forward to many more interviews from the upcoming Hard Knox show, from RCW show. We have 3 more RCW ones to come out, so look forward to all that. And yeah, that's it from me. Carmo, anything else you want to say? 100%.
No, pretty much. I don't know why you're still listening to this podcast, but thank you. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. I don't even know why I said that, but anyway. But yeah, as Martin said, we do have Hard Knocks coming up Sunday week. If you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, I believe 2 weeks later, we have RCW, and I believe a week later we have OTT. No, that's what I call Christmas. As well as that, if you are listening to this on the Saturday that this comes out, or within the week before Hard Knocks, on the Saturday, there will be live wrestling in Fermoy, County Cork, which is the new collaboration between RCW and Fight Factory. So if you're in Fermoy, if you're in that area, do get down. I think tickets are only 12 or 13 euros, so they're quite cheap as well.
It's 12 each and 25 for 4.
Something like that. So they're quite cheap as well. So if you're doing nothing on a Saturday, pop down to Fermoy down in Cork. But look, I think that's it for another episode. Martin?
What?
That's it for another episode. Thank you for joining us on the 5Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. But for another week, we're officially ding, ding, done. Yeah.